The filter-free diary. Uh,
Good morning. It's 9:44 in the morning. And last night I left that EV, that Polestar, at the Whole Foods and paid a Lyft driver $25 to help me abandon the car. And now a Lyft driver is going to show up in like 45 minutes or so and get me back over there, and hopefully that thing is charged and I'll be able to use that thing for like another 2 weeks sparingly and not have to go through this crazy ass charging process again. Hopefully, because this is stupid. But you know what? I can't even imagine if this was actually my car and actually had to do all this stuff. Thank you for the temporary experience. So before I do that, I thought we could talk about specifically the sun, but you know, those celestial bodies up there in the sky that we see, you know, as they rotate through our evening. And the reason I want to talk about them is because, not for nothing, those days of creation in the beginning of the Bible, that's actually accurate information. That's not tesseract. That's real. That is it. I mean, all minus the judgment call. Because at no point was the creator ever like, that's good. Oh, that's bad, but that's good. That's ignorant. So I mean, that part was thrown in there for whatever reason. Maybe to be like, I did a good job. Whatever. Whatever. But what was created on the days in the order? Accurate. Accurate for evolution, accurate for reality, very accurate and symbolic. And specifically, I'm interested in talking about day number 4. You know, day number 4 is when the sun and the moon and the stars all got created. And why that is so interesting to me is because, you know, the sun being the biggest thing in our sky, you know, we're like, that's the number 1, obviously, right? And then when the sun finally tunes itself down in the evening and you could see the rest of the sky, we saw the moon and we're like, that must be number 2. Pretty obvious, right? The big one that eats up the entire sky for half the day. And then the smaller one that actually looks bigger. That, you know, lets all the other stars be seen. And so we got our 1 and our 2. And then we decided that 3 through 10 would be the rocky planets. And that makes a lot of sense, especially when we realize that Pluto's not special. It's one of like 1,000 chilling out over there, and we just happen to be like, ooh, we can see you. At this point, we can't always see Pluto. We couldn't always see Pluto. But anyways, so Pluto got kicked out because it wasn't actually original. Sorry, Pluto. And then we ended up with 3 through 9 being the rocky planets, and that's cool. That actually makes a whole lot of sense that we're not going to get into right now. But the cooler thing is that as we mapped out the heavenly bodies 1 through 9, we actually had a 0 as well. It's the one planet we didn't count because, you know, not for nothing, we're living on ground 0. And that would be Earth, obviously. And the really cool thing about Earth is that it comes up after Venus, which is technically the number 4. So there's your 40 right there. I love that. And yeah, Mercury is chilling right next to the sun, and that could be your 13 unless it's swung around on the other side, in which case it's 31, right? But more interesting than that, that sun That sun that is like, the primary focus of our solar system because it's our star and it's our number one. On a bigger scale, when you go beyond just our specific neighborhood and you realize that that sun is actually traveling through the celestial seal. Not only is it traveling through the celestial seal, it's giving off more than just heat, right? Obviously. Doesn't the sun also give off a shit ton of light? Like a shit ton of light. And the thing about light is when light enters a room, when light enters an area, we're able to see and we attain understanding. So light is like a great reflection for the mind, for thinking, for understanding, for compiling data, believe it or not. And what that technically makes the sun, all by itself, traveling through the celestial seal, is heat and light, which is a 1 and a 3. So even though the sun is the center of our solar system, solar meaning sun, we are around the sun itself isn't just the number one. When you're able to zoom out and really look at the sun, you realize it's actually a 13. It's a 13 traveling through the celestial seal that's bringing its own little home with it, its own little 0 through 9 with it, of which it's participating as a 1. How cool is that? Let that sink in. Have a good day.